Here's a segment from a recent Gun Talk radio episode. You can listen to all the Gun Talk radio podcasts however you tune in, or check out guntalk.com for more. I was talking about, as we kind of turn the page on the new year, it's time for reassessing, maybe making plans, making commitments, making promises. I will do better. Well, what does that mean? When it comes to your firearms training or your firearms preparation or your self-defense preparation, what does it mean to do better? And how can you do better? Who better to talk to us about that than Ken Cambell? He's the head guy over at Gunsite. That's I used to say the Harvard of gunfighting schools, but Ken, I'm not sure that's quite the compliment it might have been in the past.
I'm not sure it is. Well, being a good Indiana University guy, let's use that. The Indiana University
We'll go with that.
Absolutely. So this is the new world headquarters for Gun Talk, huh?
Yeah, it is. We moved all the way like 40 feet to the north, built a new building, and did the whole thing. So.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, I appreciate being on with you, Tom.
Absolutely. I was talking a little bit earlier in the show about, it's really good to go get training. It's good to go shoot. It's good to do all these things. But part of what you do is you got to get your head right. And sometimes you can do that by pre-visualization, sitting there doing the what ifs and all that. And then it occurred to me, that's all well and good. But if you don't have any training to work off of, you don't really know what the what ifs are or what you should do you?
Not really. It's sort of like that old line from Strother Martin and Cool Hand Luke. You got to get your mind right. And that's a big statement there. You've got to know what that basis is. What's your baseline? So how do I know when I'm doing better? How do I know what I need to improve on? What do these trainers know is happening around the world that I don't know because I only live in Nashville? This is what's happening here, but what's happening on the West Coast, because it's going to migrate its way to us. So you've got to establish that baseline so you know how you need to push yourself.
Part of, and you talk about the Gunsite Epiphany, and it is absolutely real. Somewhere in that second or third day of the 5-day class, people get that aha moment and they change. And I've told people over and over, I said, you come out of it a different person. Everybody goes, yeah, right, sure. I said, no, tell you what, after 5 days, you call me and tell me I was wrong and I'll pay for your class. Haven't had anybody take me up on it yet. Honestly, I haven't. And I made that deal. I said, look, you tell me that you're not a different person after 5 days than you were before. And everybody goes, oh man, Tom, you're right. I will never look at things the same way again. Part of that is opening them up to the awareness of what's out there. It's not just how to react to it, but it's what's out there, right?
Right. It's your mindset. That's the critical thing of it all. It's all good and well. You've got the latest, greatest Acme Master Blaster with the greatest optic on it and so on. But like Jeff Cooper said, just because you own a piano doesn't make you a musician. And so you've got to get your head into that game. So when, not if it happens to you, you aren't at that, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening to me. It was, I was expecting this and I'm prepared.
Well, it's that old deal. When you put your gun on in the morning, you don't say, I may need this today. You say, this is the day I'm going to use this. I will need this today. So you've already made that decision.
Absolutely. And it's not round number 15. It's the round that's in the chamber and the one that's right behind it. That's what will save my life today. And it's just that mindset application of it all is crucial, whether you're a little old lady door greeter from the big box store or whether you're special forces. You've got to have, Luke, you got to get your mind right.
Well, one of the things you guys do at Gunsite is you get access to some of the most knowledgeable people in the business, and that could be anything from law enforcement to special forces and intelligence people. I mean, they all come through there from groups that don't exist, and you learn things. And
yes,
there are threats that most people just don't know about. And while your instructors may not be able to say, okay, let me tell you what's going on, blah, 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 because they're actually not allowed to talk about it, they can impart the knowledge you need to deal with that. Is that a fair way to put it?
It is. They can they can sanitize it, if you will, and make it so that, we can't explain this to you in that this is what is happening, and here are some options on how to deal with it or how to avoid it.
Well, that's the other part of it is, don't you find that the more you train, the more you study this, the more you go to places like Gunsite, the less likely you are to have to use the skills that you have?
I think so. Tom, I'll go back to my prior life and in law enforcement, and I can remember being operations captain, and I was an early morning guy, and I'd come into work 6:30, and night shift would still be there, and they'd say, boss, this happened last night. Everything was there, ability, opportunity, jeopardy. We could have shot this person, but we didn't have to because of this, and this. And that's an A-plus win, an A+++. They did things just right, and they didn't have to use that force, and everybody went home, and that's a great thing.
I'm remembering our mutual friend, Heidi, you know who I'm talking about,
yes,
who is actually the sniper on the local sheriff's department. And I was talking to her one day. She said, last week, she said, I had my scope on a guy for 8 minutes. Didn't pull the trigger. It's just like one of those go, okay, that's different. And it's part of that whole, if maybe not what you and I would do in everyday use, but I call it the reactionary gap of if you can see it ahead of time, you can react in time to not be there when things go down.
Right. You walk out of the mall, wherever you've been shopping, and something, the hair stands up on the back of your neck, women's intuition, whatever you want to call it. You're just being alert and aware, and you think, that group of people over there make me uncomfortable. Well, go back in the mall or take another route to the car, or you've got options in life as opposed to all of a sudden being in the midst of it. So that's the crucial point that you can learn, and it is something you can learn by sort of making a game out of it. Can you tell me, when you got fuel the last time, the person that was...
Okay, you're dropping out a little bit, but I know where you're going with this, Ken. The person who's next to you in the pump, awareness, are you paying attention to the person who's pumping gas over there? Did you see the person come out of the stop and rob over there? Are you aware of what's going on, or are you looking at your stupid phone while you're pumping gas and basically taking yourself out of all situational awareness, right? Right.
You got to be aware. It's that using that cell phone, we call that cranial rectal inversion. It's where you are focused on anything other than what. Isn't that a nice way of saying that?
I like it.
You're focused on everything except what's really important, which is what's going on in your immediate environment.
Hey, let's be sure to do this. Tell people what's new, because you got so much new going on at Gunsite. If you were there 2 years ago, you won't even recognize the place.
That's exactly correct. We've got a new bunkhouse for our instructors. We have a beautiful new office for our staff. Hold on to your wallets here. We've got a brand new 4,900 square foot pro shop. With 8 years of record student numbers, I needed more seating capacity, let's say. So we've got bigger bathrooms now, new bathrooms. We've got, we're about to have some more classrooms put in. We kind of ran out of weather here on that. Parking lot now for 120 vehicles. We hope to have another shoot house by this time next year. I hope way before this time next year. It's just business. We've been very blessed with business. If there's 10, 20 million new gun owners, I believe it. And God bless them, they're getting training, which goes back to what we started in our conversation, is getting that right training.
Gunsite is the granddaddy of firearms training schools. And the thing that's great about it is no matter how much you grow and how many classes you have, I've never been there when I didn't get the highest quality instruction. And that's basically the bedrock of what you do. Thank you.
We want to be known for the instruction and our customer service as well. We want you to understand you are the most important to us, because what we teach you is a life-saving skill. So we don't want to be second-rate at that.
I tell people, you want to change your life? Go to Gunsite. People say, well, it's expensive. No, it's not. It's cheap if you need it. If you ever need it and it saves your life, that's about as cheap as you can get, my friend.
Right. What did you spend on that big screen TV, the surround sound system, your all the different cable TVs, and all those things? Are any of those things going to save your most important person in your world's life?
Put off buying a new truck.
You will.
Yeah, put off buying a new truck for 1 year, pay for it, and now you got skills that last a lifetime. Ken Cambell, I got to go here. I appreciate your time. I appreciate what you guys do.